Hi everyone, welcome back to the webinar. I am Katrin Kampura and I will host and help navigate the second part of today's event. I hope you had a good lunch break, got to stretch a little bit and are ready to continue with the next sessions. Please note that we've added 2 links to the Q&A discussion. So the first one is for reaching the handout PDFs, and the second one is for the feedback form. There is also a QR code after each presentation that you can use, and I encourage you to go and share your thoughts about the presentation so we can improve and make an even better event. The sessions we have coming up now are about Workday Extend, people experience, compensations and advanced compensation, benefits, and finally integrations. But now I would like to welcome to the stage Vinod Kakarlapudi, who will introduce Workday Extend to us. Welcome, Vinod.
Thank you. So, are you seeing my screen?
Yes, it's good to go. Okay,
perfect. So, welcome everybody. Myself, Vinod, and a very good afternoon. Hope we make this presentation as interesting and interactive as possible. So, as our earlier presenters has mentioned, we strongly suggest you raise questions via the Q&A functionality. And also this session will be recorded and will be available after on demand from the event. And moving on to my introduction. So I have 10+ years of experience in HCM consulting, and my specialized areas are with Workday integrations and reporting. And safe harbor statement applies. So today's agenda about Workday Extend. So I will be explaining you a bit about Workday Extend and a bit about the custom apps. And also I'll show you the developer site. It's like a one-stop solution for all the Extend. It's like a community for the Extend developers. And then I'll be explaining about a bit on app development and what are the main components used in it. And I have also prepared a short demo and an app which I can present you at the end of the event. Then let's continue. So what is Workday Extend? Workday Extend is a tool set that enables developers to build, deploy, and share the apps that run on Workday, but to meet specific business needs that extend the core Workday functionality. So we have the Workday's core functionality, and Workday Extend has the capability of extending it, like creating a additional app on top of the existing functionality or completely creating a new functionality altogether. And Workday Extend is hosted outside of the normal Workday data center. It is hosted on Amazon Web Services. And for your information, Workday Extend is a separate license from the existing Workday system. Okay, now we discuss about the benefits of Extend. So Workday Extend like built upon the Workday's core functionality to solve unique business requirements. And it can also increase user productivity by providing simplified tasks. And we have the same user experience as in Workday. We have the same look and feel of the existing Workday system. And also it is a feature proof, like all the releases are automatically also applicable for the Extend apps. And it will also reduce the IT costs incurred on maintaining a network of applications on a separate technology that we already have. So we can bring those applications into Workday and have a unified system. And the main advantage here is that Workday Extend also uses the same business process policies and the existing domains within Workday. So now about the custom apps. What is a custom app? Custom apps run on Workday and they render the custom pages that we develop using Workday Extend. And it has the same UI standards of Workday and it can also interact with Workday data and also with external data sources. If we have any other system or application, we can also bring the data into Workday using Workday Extend. So custom apps can store data as unique business objects used with specialized business process and security domains. I'll show you how we develop this new business process and new security domains. It's exciting to create new business object, new business processes, and new security domains with Extend. And some apps can also be event driven, which are automated across Workday and with the third-party systems as well. So these apps can be accessed from Workday's homepage or dashboards, and also from the related actions. And it has the seamless experience like the existing Workday's functionality. Now we move on to the developer site. What is a developer site? So Workday Extend developer site is one-stop solution for everything with Workday Extend. So it has the documentation of Workday Extend, and then it has some sample apps and tutorials and also which we can refer for starting to learn about Extend and everything. Also, there is an console where we can manage the Workday Extend using like administrating the developers and who can manage and who can share the apps, who can see the apps and everything. So it's like a single solution for Extend. It is like a Workday community, but for Extend. And it has also immense documentation about Workday Extend. Now I'll quickly show you this. Now, can you see the developer site here?
Yes.
Okay, so here is what I have explained about the console. Here we can see all the apps in the app hub, and also there is analytics about the usage and performance and logs. And then here is the tenant. I'll explain you about an Extend tenant. So here we can administer this, and also we have the users who all has access to our Extend here. And apart from that, we have the app catalog, which are provided as samples from Workday. Here some of the apps that can be readily downloaded and can be utilized for us. And then there is this app gallery, some of the stories from the existing customers of Workday Extend and the apps they have built for themselves. on top of the Workday existing functionality. And as I mentioned, this Extend developer site has the documentation about the Extend, all the basics and the developer tools available. So it's an immense documentation and resourceful. And also we have the community where we can get help from the other Extend customers and the developers. So this is basically the developer side. And then moving on to the app development. So we need basically the developer side and then the development tenant and also the Workday Extend plugin for IntelliJ. What are development tenants? These are environments built specifically for Workday Extend apps. These are also like our Workday tenant, but has access to more Extend related APIs and the other things which are related to Extend. So app development happens in this development tenant, and those apps can be promoted to our own IMPL tenants, sandbox, and later to production. So we'll be having a connection to our development tenant, to our own implementation tenant, and then sandbox and then production. So what is Workday Extend and IntelliJ? So IntelliJ is a Java-based IDE that allows developers to build these applications. And we also need this plugin, which is called Workday Extend plugin, which helps to build the apps. I'll show you how it looks like. So here is a development tenant. And if you see, it looks exactly like the Workday tenant, but the URL is WCP dev. WCP is Workday Cloud Platform. And this tenant has some additional features like having more access to the APIs of Extend and all. And apart from that, it's the same tenant like we have. And I would also like you to show this IntelliJ. It looks almost like the Workday Studio. And this is used for building the apps. I just want to show you, I don't want to confuse you, but this is how the application looks like, where we build and code the new Extend. And coming back to the presentation. So what are the key elements used in the app development? So mainly the app development has presentation components that are to create the user interface, like the main pages. We can create new pages and also tables, grids, buttons. So whichever is available in the existing Workday functionality can be recreated with this presentation components. So this actually builds the UI for us. And then coming to the model components, here is where the data is stored now. And this model components helps us to create new business processes and also new security domains and security policies, which I have just explained, that we can create new business process and new business objects altogether. And also we have orchestration. which is used for event-driven processes. So what are model components? There are 4 types of model components available. The first one are business objects. With this model component, we can create altogether a new business object. Like we have worker business object, contingent worker business object, dependent business object. We can create new business objects altogether with this model component. And that really holds the data of the Workday Extend. And also with this business process, we can extend the existing business process framework and create new workflow for our new applications. And also the model components of security domains helps us to create new security policies. And there is also a possibility to create attachment objects. And now I would like to show you a short demo of an app that I have created for us. Yeah, so you know that we can use task to navigate to a specific functionality or a event or something, but we can create new tasks here with Workday Extend. Now I have created an custom task which takes to my home page of the app I have created. Here you can see that I have created a visitor app. Basically, I am maintaining all my visitors data here, that I can register a visit of my family or friends to my office. I can actually create their profile and then I can schedule their pre-visit that my family is visiting next week to our office. So it's a complete new functionality apart from existing Workday system. And we can store and maintain data in Workday using this external app. I'll walk you through this app. Now I can create a new visitor profile. The first name of the visitor. And then if you see, the look and feel looks exactly like Workday, and here first name is a required field. And then I'm trying to create. Now you see, if I try to save this, it throws an error that this is a required field. And then also we can add some validations also like this, that it should be a valid email. Now I am registering a new visitor. And in here I can see all my visitors list. I have 2 visitors, and from here I can travel back to my app homepage. And now I would like to schedule a visit for Tom Cruise. And I will be selecting him from the drop down. I can see all the details here. And then I'm scheduling a visit on next Monday. Now this is like an interactive flow. And it is a confirm page which asks me to check all the details. And then if I say confirm, yes, your visit has been registered. And in this page, I can see all my visits which are already registered. So it's a small example where I want to show you how we can create apps and extend the existing functionality. And also I would like to show you the app manager, where we have the list of all the apps in the tenant. And then here we can have the new tasks, custom task. And we can see that there is a new domain that I have created. And also we have the business object. So this is a newly created business object for our application.
Sorry to interrupt, Vinod. Just reminding that you have a minute or so left.
So here we can see the new business object that we have created. And also a new business process can be created. So here is a quick demo of my sample application. And then going back to the presentation. So we highly appreciate your feedback about the presentation, and kindly we request you to fill the short survey using the QR code or the link in the chat, and feel free to write about any other questions apart from this. Did we have any questions, Catherine?
No, but I think it was a very good overview of what exactly is Extend. And thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Now we will continue with a presentation from Marisanna Fred, who will talk about Workday people experience. Welcome, Marisanna.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, crystal clear.
Good, good. And see my presentation?
Yes.
I have quite a full deck, so let's start right away. So I'm going through with the people experience new features for this release. First, few reminders of the practicalities. Please do feel free to add the questions to the question and answer functionality. I'm more than happy to try to answer those, and if we do not have time, then we come back later, but I will try to leave some time in the end of the presentation. The session is recorded and the handouts are available for you. And reminder also for the digital HR community to network there and receive good information. I am Marisanna Fred, functional consultant here in TietoEVRY. I have been now a little bit over 2 years and mostly done security related work. I'm certified in HCM core and people experience. Safe harbor statement, of course, applies throughout the whole presentations. We are talking about new features, so remember that. Here's quite full agenda we are having. I'm not going through everything in detail, but try to focus on those most bigger or relevant changes coming up. But before that, I wanted to add one slide here. What is people experience? Because might not be that clear for everyone what it is included. So there's Workday Today, Workday Help, and Workday Journeys are part of the people experience. And for Workday Today, we have the homepage, enhanced search, Workday Assistant, and natural workspaces. Workday Help has the case management, knowledge management, and Workday Journeys, the journey path and custom cards. And this is the way I have structured these features also in these presentations. So we go through first the Workday Today features. And I think the biggest and most anticipated change coming up is about the home page and the search related search in the specs. It is now optional coming in this release, so everyone can take it to the production as if wanted, but coming as a default to all in next year's first release. I have added here these both features because they are so related together. First, the people experience homepage and search has these 3 new functionalities which you need to do if you want to add the new homepage and search at this point. But added here also this homepage redesign because it is coming automatically if you do the first part. And it's including, of course, the people experience functional area and domains in that, which you need to be enable and activate and add the permissions if you want users to have that. There's a people experience access domain, which gives the access to no homepage and the search, and for the kind of admin, or recommended for admins, where you get the configure new homepage task from this setup people experience configurations. This self-service spec search was not mentioned in the What's New report, but added here, it will give the users access to the spec search as a self-service, and recommended to add that too. With the homepage, there are a couple of new things coming which not used to the homepage currently. One is the cards, where you can get the information when needed to the users, and also the machine learning driven success task is brand new, where you need the innovation service agreement to be getting that activated. Also, you get this configure people experience homepage task with that domain. The search coming also with the new functionalities of getting a kind of better feel and maybe a little bit better, easier to look what search what you're looking for. And the users can configure it a little bit or personalize the search results also. With the redesign, I don't know if any of you have checked the homepage, the PEX homepage before, but it got this new redesign now. Some layout changes and the names are changing there also. I will go through this in the demo in more details. And we can jump to that. First, I will go through the first part. As a Logan, so just show you briefly the new functional area, the domains that are needed if you want the new homepage and search activated for users. So the functional area was the people experience, and here the domains were people experience access, where you get the homepage and search feature for the users. The self-service spec search, where the users will get the search functionalities, and without this, it says gonna continue using the classic search. And the setup people experience configuration was where you get the admins. You decide to get the admins the access to the configuration task. And the configuration task is now looking like this. There is gonna come some changes about this. Was supposed to be in the release, but there was a delay on that, so still looking like this. Can add some cards what you wish for, or check that your company wants to provide for the users. Just very easily added, opening it, kind of adding one row and adding the card. And if you want to remove it, you can just remove it from the minus mark there. And for the cards, there are certain security that the user needs to have the card to be visible in the home page then. And also there's some timing rules behind every card, and these are the Workday delivered cards. There's a possibility for the external cards, which is more about the journeys, and some external links are possible to be added. And for those, we will have the security group and rule we can add for users to kind of define which users you want them to have. And we go as our PEX admin now here to see a little bit about the new homepage, how it looks now. So few changes, like you see, there's layout changes and some name changes. Waiting for your actions is the inbox. This certain user doesn't have now anything in the inbox, but the inbox items would be here first too. And if I have some journey tasks waiting, then that would be the third. If now journey tasks, then first 3 actions from the inbox are visible for the users. Then timely session, which was to keep track before, having the cards that are visible for the user at the moment. User can get from that link or from that card straight to that task or report what it is about. Quick tasks are the part that you need to have the innovation service agreement if you want, so that will use the machine learning, and that's optional. If you want, you need to go and tag that on. We have the view all apps, so now user need to click this and see all the apps you have configured that certain security groups will have there. And of course, users are still able to configure the check, add the tabs themselves. Here you can see it's like this community added here. It was the external links I added in the homepage, so those will be visible here. Right now, these 3 icons here are empty, but I learned from Workday that they probably are planning to have some kind of app links here. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to be. Is it going to be those most used apps or some recommended apps or what it is, but there will be something. There's nothing documented yet on that. But when we had the most used app here, which I think was quite a good feature, but now Workday is kind of pushing users to use those with the quick access. So you can go to the quick access and there you have the most used apps there. And now we have the announcement. This was still, I think, yesterday from your company or somehow like this, but now there are changes that back to the announcements, which I was expecting also. There are 3 announcements visible, and of course, if there's more, there's still going to view more announcement. You can get it open. And a little bit about the search. So if I just click higher in the search bar, we will get the view of the new enhanced search. User will get the results of the search as the user has saved the categories. So I will get these 3 category search results in the first page. I can open the more categories and choose one other and get the results from that. If the user doesn't have or don't get any results of the saved categories, they will get this kind of, you don't have anything, try searching from these other categories where there are some hits. It is very easy for users to configure a little bit of what they want to see. These first three are the default from Workday, what categories are, but every user can open this and add what is kind of mostly needed. It's very, very good to instruct your users what is needed there. So I'm going to just add there, and then we have new saved categories. Yep. And a little bit other additional considerations on this home page and everything. You can think about the timing when you take it. It is possible to take it right in this release. It's possible to have in production. It is coming as a default in next year's first release. So I think between that time when it's convenient for you, you can kind of, if your company have like big processes or anything like that, or what is kind of maybe trainings or something, then you can think of the best timing for you. And it is possible to add a little bit with the security to a limited group to have the new homepage and the search if you want to be adding kind of first for a smaller group to pilot it or get some feedback or kind of pain points from there to kind of maybe add the instructions to correct things. Of course, before you need to check what cards for your company you want to be added there, and check the brainstorms from this because Workday is listening and checking those very carefully, and the changes are coming even before next release and everything. So if you have some features there that you will definitely would need and want or something, so go through and vote and comment, so that can be making difference there. And I've added here also this Workday is arranging these webinars for Workday today to getting closer look for this new homepage. So check that out if you want more details on that. And a little bit summary on what we went through. What you need to do. Some other features from Workday Today side. The people experience homepage, the new cards are coming up. They are adding some new cards for you. You can add for the homepage. And the Workday Assistant is getting for the changing personal information some additional features there. You can it is defaulted to be enabled, but if you want, you can go and click those disabled if want. So it's just the edit tenant setup assistant, and here you can see the new ones. You can disable it if you want, but of course if you haven't enabled it to any users anyway, it doesn't matter. They don't get the access to those anyway, so it always reaches the security also. And Workday Assistant icon coming, you may have noticed that Assistant is saying hi to the user when they are starting to use, just to get to kind of more notice that users can notice that the Assistant is there for them. And the translations coming, so Assistant users can start using with the Spanish. And I added here the link if you are interested in checking more about the schedule and plans for the languages. Some other features in progress, so Prerequisition Assistant can be help users with that one, and the time tracking is for Assistant is delayed, but here's the new attended preview date on those, and they are bringing this drive item highlighting for the homepage cards also. And for the natural workspaces, the in-progress job requisitions and projects are part of those users to be checking from the Slack and Teams also. And here's a little bit summary on what we went through about the Workday today, other features. And then the Workday help features coming up. One I think most visible change coming to create case user experience. Here's the link for the node. And it has these 5 new functionalities coming with this one feature. It's redesigning the user interface to create the case, so the usability is a little bit better and kind of helps to reduce the errors while user is creating the case. The accessibility is a little bit changing, kind of the view layout there is different and a little bit some text changes. It's like suggested resources used to be suggestions, and mobile search for create task also. So in mobile, user can find the create case task in the global search also. And the questionnaires, the workflow is a little bit improving there. It has, of course, been there before, but now it kind of flows a little bit user-friendly there. I will show it soon there. And the create case form submission, there has been added some errors and warnings there, and the buttons are a little bit different, and where it's directing you after creating the case. And the create case task, new, create case new, is there in the preview now, but when going to production, it will be just the create case. And showing a little bit in the tenant how it looks. No. Like you see, looking a little bit different. The create for, of course, it's from the security domain. Not every user has that. We see there's some can be, if I choose, for example, the case type I have here, the suggestion resources is getting down. If there's more than one, if I remember right, 2 was visible there, and then possible to click the link to open the rest. I think 5 was the maximum showing there. You can see the create case is not possible to be chosen yet because there is not enough information coming from there. If I add some, for example, the title is not having the information, it will have the error there also. I have the Workday compensation type where I have also one questionnaire. It's also showing you must add the required details before creating case. So I can add some title here and details for the case, and still I cannot create it until I have added the required details. So first the button is this. We answer all the questions which is in the questionnaire. Now I have only this one just for demoing you. And after that, you see the button is create case. And when you create it, you get this view where you can go and view that case or other cases you have. Yep, and here is the summary of that. Knowledge management audience condition rules is one bigger one in Workday help coming also. Change is optional, so you need to opt in it first to get it, and kind of change that the audience who can view the articles can be defined with the conditions rules and not the segment security anymore. And also that the authors of the articles can be set with the segment-based security. So it includes of course, the opt-in. You cannot opt out. So if you do this, you cannot kind of back down. For this, if you opt in, you get the possibility to add the condition rules, even either existing ones or create new ones for the audiences. And then you can grant the authors access by the category, and it won't be any more connected to the audience. I'm gonna take that. And there's going to be domains related to that, where you can add the security. So some managed knowledge base or view knowledge base, which is going to be needed to be added, enabled and added the security roles there, security groups. And the knowledge-based article authors right now, that is the kind of what you need to be in the audience membership to be able to create or edit those, but if you opt in this, then you will be able to add a segment-based security for which admins, for example, can author which category articles. Also, yeah, the task is coming with maintain knowledge-based audience, where you can check the audiences and add the rules for there. And these new tasks and report coming, where you can create the rules and check what is in those. A little bit about the configuration is needed to be done, so you can check the audiences and check what rules you needed. You need to do the opt-in, configure the security domains, and the maintain knowledge-based audience. Of course, testing is part of this. Probably quite a lot, some testing coming if you opt in it. Here's a little bit the summary. So mostly changes about the audience condition rule, and instead of the segment based, and then the authors, you can segment those by the categories. Other features from the Workday help. I'm running out of time, I think, a little bit. Case data security, so there's going to be more possibilities to add security on the messages and internal notes. And you can add multiple audiences for knowledge management, the articles, and the search, a little bit of enhancements for the knowledge base search results. Some other features for the people experience in general, some translations coming for the people experience help and journeys, the homepage, and also the mobile side. And then these are probably going through in the system side, but of the new header and the search category buttons are included also in the specs. So it's not kind of, if you change the specs, you won't have those. Some are 1+ features. There's quite a big list. It is development area, so there's lots of things. I'm not going through everything, but just want to highlight few. So editing the delivered cards. Some of the cards are having the edit button there now, or you can go to edit card task to check a little bit. You can edit a little bit the title and a little bit the timing. And the inbox card is possible to add from the homepage configuration. Do you want the inbox be in the homepage or not? And some for the natural workspaces and assistant coming. And from the VD help features, I want to highlight maybe this case sub-statuses coming. I think very useful feature. You can add sub-statuses for the statuses you have with your cases. So look into that if you have it in use. and some for the journeys, but I don't think there's that many journey users in the call. Roadmaps, I just added quickly that's what teams they are having in people experience. You can see, and here you can go to see the link. They have this 25-minute video for the roadmaps, which includes the Workday Today, Help, and Journey in the same presentation. So if you're interested in the Workday Today only, you can just check the first part of that. It's dated in April, so probably some updates after that had to be done, but quite recent anyway. Please give us feedback. And Katrin, is there any questions? I know I have exceeded my. Oh no, I just have filled up my time, but maybe we can have 1 minute or 2 minutes if there's any questions.
Yes, you were very exact, but we don't have any questions at the moment.
Okay.
But all questions are welcome to be sent to us afterwards, and we'll get back to you. So thank you, Marisanna.
Yeah, when you go through with these features, then probably you're gonna get some questions. So please feel free to contact us.
Exactly. Thank you. So now it's time for the next presentation, and Anthony Castan will continue with compensation and advanced compensation. So are you there, Anthony?
Hi everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yes, welcome.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so let's get started, and welcome everyone for this Workday 2021 Release 2 for compensation, advanced compensation. So here is some webinar practicalities. I won't go through because I think you have been going through today, but there is a Q&A, so we welcome your question. Please pay note that the session is recorded, and please follow our digital HR Insight community. My name is Anthony Castan. I'm a lead functional consultant. I've got several years of experience on the Workday implementation and post-production support. I've got HCM, compensation, advanced comp, benefit PM, and launch certificate in Workday. Please, the following feature applies a safe harbor statement, so please keep in mind this. Here's the agenda for compensation. So a few release, quite interesting one for the compensation, especially the clawback, and I'm quite excited about the discovery board. And here's the agenda for advanced compensation. All right, so let's get started with basic compensation. So the first feature that we are going through is the clawback date for one-time payment. That feature will help you to track recovery dates on one-time payments. So for example, you can have clawback dates for your one-time payments, especially in signing bonus or then some training one-time payments. So now in Workday, you can apply this clawback date. So what you need to do, you need to create the one-time payment schedule to set up the defaulting clawback date. So you can then after that create or edit your current one-time payment task. You will see a new category. So before you had only one category, it was referral. And now you will see a second category called clawback. Once you enable this clawback date, you can assign it to any one-time payments that you have currently in your system. You can also, and we will see during the demo, that you can have profiles inside your one-time payment with clawback dates. So inside the same plan, you can have some profile on the schedule of the clawback dates. And then you have a new delivered report from Workday called one-time payment eligible for clawback, which is going to track all the workers who have this clawback date active. So here is a quick demonstration. So if I go to edit my current signing bonus, edit one-time payment plan. if I edit as of 1st of August. So remember, this is effective date. So if I add a new clawback date effective 1st of August, and you are trying to launch a one-time payment previous that date, the clawback is not then activated. So if I go to my signing bonus, so if you go here in the category and click here, you will see this new clawback category field. So once I select that, there is a new section called clawback payment option, which came here. This is not a mandatory field, but it's good to have. So here, if I created a clawback schedule 2 years from hire date. So what it will, how it looks like, I have the name, a number, the units, if it's years, weeks, months, and a date of hire. So what it will do here, so what it will do here, if I select this, so when you assign this one-time payment plan for an employee, the clawback schedule will look at 2 years from the hire date. And as mentioned here, you can have here those profiles, and you can have a different clawback schedules on your profiles. So I click OK. And then I will go to one employee. Oh, it was kind of sent. So let's give a one-time payment for this worker. As today. And just to mention, if we go to his profile, so Oscar Vincent have been hired on 6th of July 2020, so less than 2 years, 1 year and 1 month, 19 days. So if I assign now a signing bonus as of today, he is still included in the clawback period of time. So I said I'm adding a rhythm, signing bonus, and here I add the one-time payment plan, signing bonus. So here you see when you have selected the plan and the plan include a clawback date, the date came here as default, 2 years from the hire date. So 6th of July 2022, which is 2 years from the 6th of July 2020. That's what we defined here in this 2 years from hire date. So Workday included this part here that it would that the user assigning this one-time payment could understand the logic behind this clawback date. Please notice that the clawback date is not, you can overwrite this date. It's possible to do. So I click here, submit. So the one-time payment now went through. And now we are going to terminate Oscar Vincent. And we terminate as of tomorrow. We submit. Then we have one step to complete the process. Just answer fast to this questionnaire. All right, so now the termination process is completed. So what I will do, I will go to the new process called one-time payment eligible for clawback, and you will see here appearing. So I just check the organization that we don't run call center Benelux. And you will see here appearing Oscar Vincent as a clawback date of 6th of July 2022, and termination was 26th of August. So that will help you then to manage these clawback payments and to report on it. So additional consideration, you cannot have inside one-time payment category of clawback and referral. So we cannot have two categories inside the same one-time payment. So what's changing is now with Workday, with this new feature, you're able to track recovery dates on one-time payment. So you can now have the clawback dates applying to your one-time payments. To enable this feature, you need to create or edit your one-time payment plan and add the clawback category to the plan. It's not compulsory, but you can include a clawback date, which will be defaulting once you assign a one-time payment plan. And if you do nothing, there is nothing will change. So you need to activate the category to be able to add this feature. The second feature is flexible 100% FTE equivalent calculation for compensation plans. So with this feature, the Workday wanted to give more flexibility or improve the way the 100% full-time equivalent is calculated for part-time employees. So now you will see in some compensation plans, you will have a new option to calculate more accurately when you want to apply FTE to some plans. So in the configuration, you will see that's only the list of plans which include this new feature. There are salary plans, allowance plans for amount or unit-based plans only, not percent-based, and also your bonus plan only for amount-based. So in this plan, you will have the new option called Use Assigned Value in 100% Calculation. And when you have this option selected, Workday will use it in the following business process. So propose compensation change, propose compensation hire, propose compensation offer employment agreement, request compensation change, and request requisition compensation. So here for a quick demonstration, we go to compensation plans to show you this new feature. So here, if we take an example with this mobile allowance, so I have my previous mobile allowance, where the option was to, if I edit it, so none of the above, so we don't apply FTE. And here we have my new mobile allowance with this new option here, use assigned value in 100% calculation. So if I go to an employee called Camille class, and we go and have a request compensation change for this employee. So to better understand and that you can visualize better the number, I'm going to remove all the compensation plans that she has, and we can notice then the difference. I will leave only the mobile allowance, which is 110 per month. And if I go to here in my primary compensation basis, you can see that this employee, Camille, she is 50%. She's not working 100%, she's working on 50%. She's part-time worker. So when I go to this primary compensation basis, it shows me 1,320 annual, and for 100% FTE would be 2,640. If I remove this allowance, and I would add the new version of the mobile allowance, it's 110. if I go back in primary compensation basis, here will show that 1,320 in annual, but the 100% FTE equivalent would be 1,320. So you can notice that with this new option, this use assigned value in 100% calculation, Workday will not anymore here add here what would be the FTE equivalent if the person would be in 100%. It gives you more flexibility in your reportings. So if you want to have a more granular control of the 100% FTE calculation, Workday recommend to use in the Edit Tenant Setup HCM, you will have this new option in the compensation section called Use Assigned Value in 100% calculation and use 100% FTE for pay range comparison. Please pay attention that this feature doesn't support managed by basis total workers, and it cannot be applied for calculated plans as well. So it's only the plan what we have seen. So salary plan, allowance amount and unit based, and bonus amount plans. And if you're using, if you have employee using managed basis total, it will not be working, this feature. So what's changing? So with this feature, Workday improves how it calculates the 100% full-time equivalent for compensation amount, and especially for your part-time employees. So it gives you better flexibility in that way, that if you assign a plan which is not supposed to be applying the FTE, and you want to use this 100% full-time equivalent, so for your reporting point of view, it's gives you better flexibility on that. What you need to do, so in your current salary plan or amount unit-based allowance or amount bonus plan, you need to go and select the use assigned value in 100% calculation. If you have, for your current existing salary plan, amount or unit-based allowance plan, amount-based bonus plan, Workday defaults automatically before you just add a checkbox to check or not for apply FTE. So now Workday, if I go to the plan, Workday will automatically select this option. So you can see you don't have the tick box, you just have apply FTE, use assigned value in 100% calculation, and none of the above. So if you didn't apply FTE in your current plans, Workday will default this option, and if you applied FTE, Workday will default this option. So your current plans will not default to this option. You need to go to your plan and activate this new option to activate the feature. Okay, next step is discovery board for pay equity. So as you can see, Workday have been developing these discovery boards, and now they have been doing a huge work on the pay equity board. So what Workday done, they are delivering a pre-configured pay equity delivery board that you can use in your analysis, and that you can also edit and make it your own way. So how the configuration happens, you need to set up, there's new domains, new security domains called Discovery Board Administration, Discovery Board Create, and Discovery Board Manage Delivered Discovery Board. So those three domains need to be activated, and you need to grant the security for the person in charge of these discovery boards. And then you have you need also access to worker data compensation by organization. Once you have handled the security, you need to access to the delivered discovery board task. In this task, you will have a pay equity from the list of discovery boards available. Once you click on it, and we will go through a demo, it's just to go through the configuration quickly. You can make a copy, save it in your drive, in your Workday drive, and you can configure it the way it fits for your organization. So let's go through a demonstration. So if I go first to domain discovery you will see here those new domains. So to be able to create and maintain those discovery boards, the person in charge needs to have security for the administration, create, and manage delivered discovery boards. That's a minimum security to have to be able to launch this this feature. So next step, you go to delivered discovery boards. And here you have this new line called pay equity. So if you click on it, you can make a copy of it. So I've already made a copy of this one. It will be saved in your drive. So if you go to your drive in Workday and select I think it was so if you click on it, you will see that Workday will open these new discovery boards. So you can see that you have lots of different reports to make. So PCB for primary compensation basis by gender and job profile. So for chief executive officer, you can see the average male and female salary or primary compensation basis. So you have a bunch of new reports and this discovery board, which will help you to handle the pay equity. So as you know, the GMS is US orientated, they can do some report based on ethnicity, which is not really fine in Europe, but you can go here on the side and you can use those. If you click on this primary compensation basis by ethnicity, and you can open here this. Okay, just a second. Okay, didn't filter. Okay, so I need to check that. And okay, oh, it's strange. Okay, yes, I didn't go to the edit mode yet. That's fine. So here, if you go to your current worker data, you can have those filters. So you can see here the sheet filter is based on primary compensation basis for currency USD. So all the worker with currency USD in here. And here is by supervisory organization primary position. And you can edit if you want. So here, same, we have primary compensation gender by gender and job profile. So you can filter here the way you want it to look and what information you want to have in these reports. So you can see here primary compensation basis by gender and job profile. So here you have in the y-axis job profile, color, gender, and you have all these options that you can use. So if you don't want by gender, but you want by, or if you don't want by job profile, but more likely by location, that's possible to have. You just remove here, and you add here the location, maybe address, for example. Yeah, or by city you can have. So you can have many different way of doing this your own way. So in Atlanta, or Berlin, Boston, Chicago. So it's very, very exciting and lots of work to do on that. I see lots of opportunity in this reports for your pay equity. Here, like we see, you have your current worker data, but here you have also one tab for compensation events. So you can do by higher events. So you will see here that this is for business process type proposed compensation higher. What's your pay equity for supervisory organization proposed? So lots of interesting reports delivered for this discovery board related to pay equity. So all the data source in the discovery board maintain workers-based security model. So with this discovery board, you give a starting point into your pay equity analysis. So that is often asked from us consultants how we can audit the pay equity. So this is how Workday answer to this need. So you can combine staffing, talent, and performance and compensation data with this discovery board feature. As mentioned, discovery board is broken into two sheets: the compensation events, so when you can filter based on specific compensation events, and the current worker data. Additional consideration for this feature is that the Workday is using the workers for HCM reporting as a data source, and the compensation events utilize the completed employee compensation events for HCM reporting. So what's changing? Workday will enable you to analyze better your pay equity progress by delivering this pay equity discovery board. So what you need to do, you need to update security domains, especially for the one who is handling with creating or editing the delivery board. You need to give the administration, create, and manage discovery board domain. And once that is done, you go to delivered discovery board, click on pay equity, and create your own copy on your drive and edit the way you want. This is completely opt-in feature, so nothing, you won't see any change if you don't activate this feature. Compensation survey. Yes.
Interrupt you, Anthony. We actually have a question.
Okay.
A few steps back now, but there was a question about how do we get clawback scheduled? In our preview tenant, this field is empty. Is it another new task for creating schedule?
Yes, exact. Good question. Sorry if I went over this. There is a new task called create clawback schedule. Okay, wait a second, but I just created it yesterday. Plans and bonus. One time. Okay, yeah, it's one-time plan schedule. Yeah, create one-time payment plan schedule. That's the new task. So where you mentioned the name, go back 3 years. So you put 3 years from date you have date of hire or scheduled payment date. That's how you create those new. So that's misleading because it doesn't include the clawback schedule. So it's create one-time payment plan schedule.
All right, thank you
Okay.
to the questioner and for the answer.
All right. But good question, yeah. So next is compensation survey management and benchmark. So have you noticed from the past releases, Workday have been working hard on this compensation survey management. So now this feature, you can expand compensation benchmark functionality. But now Workday is providing, it's not yet in our preview tenant, so it's not yet in our GMS, but it's maybe already in your preview tenant. They provide a new delivered report for internal compensation benchmark based on data across your tenant. So I have a few screenshots that I can show you. So they also expand the reporting on job profiles and employees for external benchmark. And you will see that one thing you can do is create own custom reports, including your internal benchmark and also the external benchmark, and all within the same report. And the third point of this new release is if you want to use machine learning to recommend compensation survey job, it's possible now with the machine learning job matching to create that. So the configuration is quite big. I mean, it is as you have the PDF. I might be not just be. I will not just read through the whole configuration notes. But what I can show you is this new delivered report. So this is a screenshot from the presentation in community, as we don't have it in our GMS. There is this new report called Internal Compensation Benchmark. So in this report, when you launch it, you can select which organization, and do you want to include subordinate organization or not. And what Workday does with this report, you have your list of workers, part of this organization. So let's take this Abby Knickerbocker. So what Workday does with this report, it will collect all the workers in your organization who have the same job profile, same compensation grade, and same compensation grade profile. And what we'll do, we'll show here the basis amount for my worker. So this Abby Knickerbocker. So this is her basis amount. Then you have the minimum. So for an employee who has this job profile, compensation grade 2, compensation grade profile US California, in your organization, the minimum is 70. The maximum is 89,000 and average is 79,000. So you can see that your employee, this worker, so Abby, is a bit lower than average in your organization. And what you have here is also position count. So it means you have 7 employees in your organization having this job profile, this compensation grade, and this compensation grade profiles. So that's what that new report does, and it shows compensation basis total base pay. It will show also in total salary and allowances. There was one thing. One thing to know about this report is, of course, on security point of view. If you have a manager who wants to launch this report inside his organization or her organization, and you have this position count, so there is something that let's say that this manager include 5 instead of 7 in all your organization. This manager is managing 5 of them, so 5 employees having this job profile, this compensation grade, this compensation grade profile. So 2 of them would not be inside his organization. So that can create some security issue, meaning that the manager could basically potentially know what would be the salary or the salary for those 2 employees. This manager is not the manager for. So what Workday does in this case, you have this in edit tenant setup HCM to avoid this security issue. In the compensation section, you have this internal compensation benchmark threshold. So what it does here, I have a number of 6. So if my manager here is managing 5 employees out of 7, so the threshold would be anymore 2 employees. So if I have, so what Workday does, it will exclude those 2 employees from the results that you are going to see here, because you are under the threshold limitation that we set up to 6. If position count would be, let's say, 25, and the manager is managing only 5 of them, so it's like 20 extra. It's like 20 position that the manager is not the manager for. So you go over the threshold that we set up to 6. In that way, if we go over, then Workday will include all the employees, the one inside the organization and outside the organization of the manager. If the threshold, so the position left, is less than what we set up in this edit tenant setup HCM, Workday will exclude those external employee, employee external to the organization the manager is managing. So that's how you avoid this kind of, it can create some security issues. So please pay attention about this internal compensation benchmark threshold. As mentioned, also for external compensation benchmark job profile, you can create, this is not delivered report, you can create your own custom report using data source, and that is new, all active job profile, and the new source filter for the reporting called job profile by name, family, and family group. So you can use this report for your external compensation benchmark. So for job profile, benchmark profile for benchmark cycle, and compensation component. So that is used if you are already using the compensation survey management feature. And what I was talking about is you can create also your custom report, including external and internal compensation benchmark for workers. So that includes, so if you go back to this organization, so here in first line we have this ABI, and job profile, compensation grade profile. Here is again the value that we have for the grade and grade profile. And here you can include your internal and also here your external benchmark values. So you can have all of this in one single custom report, which is pretty handy, and that you can also export to Excel. Additional consideration, so Workday for this report and for the internal compensation benchmark is using 100% FTE values of each position included in the pool. If you have in your organization you want to report some contingent worker, they will appear, but the values will be zeros because there is no compensation for contingent worker, but they are included inside the report. For terminated employee, Workday will calculate internal compensation benchmark based on the pool that match the terminated employee's primary position as their last day of work. So in addition to this new report, there is a new data source filter. So you have workers by job profile and compensation grade, which is on the workers for HCM reporting data source. Then you have job profile by name, family, and family group that you have on the data source all active job profiles. For the large organization, Workday recommends to use some filter, so to minimize and to optimize, the running of the reports. So what's changing? So Workday continues to expand the benchmark functionality and improve the internal compensation survey feature. So what you need to do, there is quite much. They have condensated in one feature many different parts. So the internal benchmark, you have also the external benchmark based on job profile, and also the machine learning for job matches. So what happens if you don't do anything? This is completely opt-in features, same than the compensation survey feature is opt-in, so you won't see any changes. But very, very interesting how now Workday brings this compensation survey to another level with these new reports. One feature called cost override routing for one-time payments. So if you are using, especially if you're using work tag in your one-time payments, so Workday will make it easier to approve one-time payments. And with this feature, you can route the step directly to the manager associated with the work tag on the one-time payments. This work for these three business process. So one-time payment for referral, request one-time payment, and request one-time payment offer and employment agreement. Please keep in mind, if you select the checkbox on the Edit Tenant Setup HCM, you will not be able to disable it later. Unfortunately, demonstration is not available. I can only show here in the Edit Tenant Setup HCM, in the compensation section, you will have here this wrote business process based on costing overrides that you can select on. So if checked, one-time payment and period activity pay events will be routed based on the costing override specified in each one-time payment and period activity assignment. Okay, so what's changing? So Workday make it easier to approve one-time payment by routing assignment to a costing organization. To enable this feature, you need to go Edit Tenant Setup HCM and select the checkbox Route Business Process based on costing overrides. This is opt-in feature, so you won't see any difference if you don't activate. One of the last feature for basic compensation is mass update advanced lookup table. So if you are using advanced lookup table in your organization, be aware that now Workday allows the mass upload and mass update of these tables. So basically a new EIB have been created to help you save time and manual effort when you are dealing with complex and big advanced lookup table. As configuration, so you need to give a get and put permission. So in your business, in your domain security, down there you have always the get and put permission. So you need to do it for setup payroll calculation generic or setup time of calculation generic. And you need, of course, to add the security group to the integration EIB domains. Additional consideration, the maximum amount of row you can have in one single advanced lookup table is 15,000. So it's okay. You have there's still place, but it's good to remember because it can go quite fast. You can get quite many rows if you have a highly complex advanced lookup tables. So what's changing with this release? Workday enables you to mass update advanced lookup table data. So using EIBs. What you need to do, of course, related to security, you need to give access to get and put, so integration permission for domains for the payroll calculation and time of calculation. And the user in charge of this update needs to be able to create and launch EIBs. Some enhancements. One, I think, for basic compensation. So Workday updated the process out of order plan change to improve the performance and user experience. So what it does is it works for commission plans, hourly plans, payroll salary plans, unit salary plans, and unit salary plans. So for example, if you change the currency of a salary plan to euro, but the frequency is weekly. So if you do this change on the 1st of August, and then you go back to 1st of July, and you will change the frequency to monthly for the same plans. So if you have a request compensation change of this plan, let's say 2nd of August, Workday will display the frequency which was effective still 1st of August. So Workday handle better now the out of process plan changes. All right, jumping now to advanced compensation. One of the new features is coordinate events for moved workers and change organizations. So from the couple of features ago, Workday we changed the way they handle the parallel process. So now you have this new task called maintain participation rule set. So it's handled by rule sets now. So with this feature, you can have your rule set based on move workers business process and also on change organization assignments. So you cannot set up participation rule set for this business processes. So what you need to do, you need to go to maintain compensation review participation rule set and create a new rule set for move worker and change organization assignments. And once you have created these rules, you need to go to your compensation review options, create or edit if you have existing ones, and add these new rules to your compensation review options. So if I go for a demonstration, and if I go to maintain compensation review participation rule set, if I create participation rule set, you can see here that you have organization assignment included. And compensation parallel event also will include the move worker. So if I create for organization assignments, you can see here it's effective before organization snapshot date. So you don't have this date option. You have only for the organization before organization snapshot date. Sorry. So you have the option to move employee to new organization or keep the employee to the current organization. And what about the pool, merit, bonus, and stock? So then if I go to edit compensation review option, let's say to Global Support Center. So if I go to participation rules, you can see here business process move workers and change organization assignment. So new section for those two business process. So you can allow all move workers or all change organization assignment, or select only based on some eligibility rules. So if I click, you need to select, you have this section, organization assignment and reorganization. So you need to select here the participation rule set you created for organization assignments. So in consideration, so this compensation review organization assignment rule set will only move employees if configured after the completion of a move worker or a change organization assignment event. If that process has an effective date prior the compensation review organization snapshot date. So to keep in mind, so Workday was blocking every process, every change organization or move worker if during a compensation review, if the effective date was previous the organization snapshot date of your process. So now Workday will allow it with this participation rule set. But keep in mind that if the effective date of the event is after organization snapshot date, you will be able to launch your process as normal. So what's changing with Workday 2021R2? There is a possibility to create a participation rule set for move worker and change organization assignments. So what you need to do, you need to go maintain participation rule set and create a new participation rule set for organization assignments. And if you do nothing, Workday will continue to block change organization assignment and move worker business process during a compensation review if the effective date is prior to the organization snapshot date of the process. Leave of absence in compensation review. So during compensation review, you can Workday improve and makes it easier the way you manage employees who go on absence or on leave or return from a leave absence during a compensation review process. So you will be able to use participation rules for leave of absence, events while you have an ongoing compensation review process. There is also a possibility to place an award on hold. So if an employee is going on a leave during the compensation review process, you have an option to place the awards on hold. So it means when you finalize your compensation review process, for those employees on leaves where the award was placed on hold, they will not have effective the payment. You need to go to a new task that Workday have delivered to either go on with the on-hold payment or then cancel the on-hold payment. So what you need to do, you go to maintain compensation review rule sets. You create a participation rule set for parallel events. So you don't have a specific rule set for absence. You need to create it for parallel events. Then you go to edit compensation review options, and you will notice a new section called request and return from leave of absence in the business process option. And then you have also in the compensation review options a new section for leave of absence to update. So if you want to place on hold or not the awards. If you activate it, you have a new task called manage compensation review on hold events. Unfortunately, its demo is not yet in place in our GMS, but what I can show is if you go to your compensation review options in the participation rules section, as discussing, there is this new request and return from leave of absence section here, and you can see it's not editable. It's live. It's on. You need to enter here the compensation parallel events. And here, as we are mentioning, you have this new section called leave of absence. So selecting the following awards will place the award on hold if the employee is on leave of absence upon completion. And you can decide which award will be impacted, if it's only merit or bonus or merit and bonus and stock. So you can decide here. So if I click here on the bonus and I launch my compensation review process, let's say the effective date and the completion date of my compensation review process would be 31st of August. And we have an employee who goes to on leave 25th of August and will come back only in October. Once you complete your compensation review process, this employee, as we have only bonus selected, will have the merit effective, but the bonus will be placed on hold. And what you need to do in here is go to the new report called compensation review awards on hold. Manage compensation review on hold events. You can select by organization. Global center. Include subordinate organization. Look at the business process you want to look at. And here you will have a list of employees impacted by the parallel event or by the leave of absence. And you can decide if you want all employees here, or then you can select by employees. Do you want to release the leave of absence on hold, so go on with the award, or do you want to cancel the awards? So additional consideration. So please, if you activate this on hold awards, remember that you must manually release the awards for an employee being on leave. So it's not an automatic. It's not automatic. You need to go on this report and go on with the on hold awards. You can create a leave-specific rule profile so that you can use inside your compensation review options. So Workday makes it easier to manage employees who go on and return from a leave of absence during a compensation review process with this maintain compensation participation rule set. And they deliver a new task for your on-hold awards, that you can go on with the payment or cancel the awards that you're for the employee on it. Last feature from advanced compensation is compensation review scorecard reporting. So there have been high demand, and it was very difficult to report on compensation scorecards. So to have your scorecard goals, scorecard profiles, any information related to scorecard was very difficult to get in reporting. So now Workday is improving that. They deliver a new performance factor operations segment goal business object. And this business object can be used to include performance data on compensation review reports. So, so they have renamed the performance factor operation segment goals report field on the adjustment for business object. And this field is now called performance factor scorecard goals. Workday is adding a new report field called plan modifier scorecard, and it's linked to the adjustment for business object, and also to the all compensation review bonus payment business object. So this is a great feature. I mean, for your reporting purposes. So now you can have anything related to your scorecard inside your reporting. So you can report on your scorecard goals, your achievements of the scorecard, the ways in both reports, also in your compensation review statements. So Workday is also adding a report field on performance factor operation segment business object that you can report and use for your company funding and company funding results. Please keep in mind also here it's important. Workday will display 100% if you don't have any company funding result and you are using this field in your reporting. So what's changing? Workday is making much easier or much more available the reporting for compensation scorecard by adding new report field to adjustment for and all compensation review business objects. Then enhancements, a couple enhancements, default eligible earning override period. So Workday is updating the create compensation review process template. And in your template, you will see a new default eligible earning override period prompt. Loss impact report field. So the new report field for the adjustment for business objects called loss impact from compensation review process and loss impact from most recently completed employee assessment. So you can use this new report and they will help you to audit the loss impact rating managers that you have during the compensation review process. And still one is report field for calculation tables. So they enable numerous performance related report field on the adjustment for business object. Sorry, when you can create the instant set comparison calculation, so you can have a better track on that as well. Yeah, so this one is related to the previous one. And just last one, I think it's the last one. So you have inbox item preference for compensation review. So with this item, Workday continues to update the initiation compensation review process. So now they changed the edit and currency and organization budget preference on the inbox item for compensation review. So now you can have each item separately instead of two all inbox item. All right, so the roadmap quickly. I think I have 1 minute left. Roadmap. So Workday will continue to improve for advanced compensation and compensation review process, the coordination of events. So now we have at the move worker and change organization assignment. In the future, they will also do it for edit positions. Workday is also planning to improve the deferred bonus and overrides. So there will be improvement on that field if you are using it. They will continue going forward with the compensation benchmarking and compensation survey management. And they will have also segment security on bonus accrual reports. So now you can use your actual reports. Remember, it's to launch not in real or to just have a numeric data of your bonus compensation review. Previous, you launched the actual compensation review. So now Workday is planning to add segment security on these reports. All right, that's complete our presentation. So please remember to give your feedback on this event and on this presentation. I don't know if there have been any questions, but please just ask. If anything comes to your mind post the event, also don't hesitate to send us your questions. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Anthony. Make sure to ask any other questions if anything comes up. But now we will continue with the next session, which is about Workday benefits. And we have Arvind Mishra here who will talk about that. Are you there, Arvind?
Yeah. Hi, Catherine. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So hopefully you're able to see me.
Yes, good to see you,
Yep.
Arvind.
Yep, great. Yeah, in this session, we will go through the updates that has been brought up by Workday for benefits module. So without wasting any more time, I'll quickly start sharing my screen. Yeah, so hope everyone is able to see my screen.
Yes, you're good to go.
Okay. So before we begin with the session, let me introduce myself. So yeah, my name is Arvind Mishra and I'm acting as a lead technical consultant with TietoEVRY for the last 1.5 years. And I'm certified both on technical and functional stuff. And in this session, I'll be taking you with the updates that has been brought up by Workday for benefits module. So before we move ahead with the session, I would like you to go ahead and read through the safe harbor statement that has been brought up by Workday. So quick 1 minute read here. And so next we will move ahead with the agenda of today's session. So we have certain updates over these topics. On the Affordable Care Act, and then there has been some updates brought up by Workday on benefits performance. And we have certain updates on enrollment event design, and lastly we have various miscellaneous enhancement as well. So to begin with, Affordable Care Act. So Workday now adds the below domains of the benefits functional area to increase configuration options for the workers' critical data. So if you can see, there has been 2 more domains added by Workday for benefits functional area, that is Workday data, AC identifiable data, and for self-service data as well. And by these updates, Workday is automatically granting users access on the new domains so that they can have some clear idea and picture of the worker data that is here for the benefits functional area. And so as part of this update, what would be changing is, like I mentioned, that Workday is improving their ability to manage ACA, that is Affordable Care Data, and these features would be automatically available in Workday tenants. So basically, since these are domains which are updates brought up by Workday, so they would be automatically available into the tenants. And in case if someone wants to implement and do some updates for the worker data, these domains have to be added on the security configuration so as to get the expected features. And what happens if we are not doing anything about it? So since this new feature will already be in place for ACA, so there will not be any impact if no actions are taken for this one. Then next slide that we have is for the benefits performance. So there are like various updates brought up by Workday so as to enhance and improve the performance of the benefits. So like one of the updates that Workday now brings is onto the enrollment status. So initially Workday used to have this cancel open enrollment task, but now what Workday is doing is it is so as to improve the performance. The open enrollment event status report is now being updated so as to give a idea of both the active status and what are the open enrollments which have been completed. So just to give you a quick demo about it. So let me just go to the Workday tenant here and I'll just quickly open this open enrollment status report here. Yeah. So we have this new icon here, which basically will be displaying all the open enrollment events and what are the statuses for them. So if you just click on this icon here, then it will land us to a page where we can see both active and completed events. So at the top, you can see the currently active events. In case if there's a enrollment event which is currently active, we would be able to see that here and with various details like enrollment event type, whether it's what's the status, whether it's in progress or it's submitted, and we have some other details as well here. And at the bottom, we have those events which are already completed. So like I mentioned, using that icon, we can access and see both the active and completed events. Then next we'll move to the next. Yeah, so summary about this event is like what is changing. So since it is an update which is more onto the improving the performance of the benefits. So yeah, this update has been brought up to increase performance, and even this update will be automatically available into the tenants going ahead. And since this is an opt-in update, so it will not be having any impact as such. Then the next update, it lies more on the enrollment events redesign. So Workday now enables the allocate access credits for the HSA field for employees in benefits group that have HSA enabled. So this enhancement is only available when the worker or the user is not selecting use Workday 32 enrollment workflow. But since we are not having this Workday 32 enrollment workflow checkbox any longer, it is being retired by Workday. So by default, we would be having this new update available into the tenant. Then the second update is onto the umbrella. So Workday now changes the umbrella icon for the insurance coverage type. So earlier it used to be, yeah, the umbrella icon is now currently being changed to a scroll shield. So just to give you an idea about this, I have taken a screenshot from tenant. So earlier for insurance coverage types, there was an icon which was an umbrella icon which was there by Workday, but now it has been changed and updated and replaced with a new icon that is scroll shield here. And like if you also try to access the main, like if we are trying to do some changes under the coverage type tasks. So let me just take you back to the tenant here. So we do here maintain coverage, benefit coverage types. Yeah. So if you go ahead with these tasks, so we can see like we have several coverage types available here. And like I mentioned, there has been update onto the insurance coverage type. So if we go ahead and have a look here. So yeah, now you can see that umbrella icon it has been replaced by an icon that is scroll shield. So like I was mentioning earlier, it used to be an umbrella icon, but now it has been replaced by an icon that is scroll shield. So this was an update onto the redesign, and the next feature that is there as part of this update is, yeah. So now Workday enables irrevocable beneficiaries for employees in Quebec in the updates benefits enrollment workflow. So now Workday is adding a visual indicator on the beneficiary just to determine if this beneficiary is an irrevocable. So that means that beneficiary will, I mean, by default, it will be there as part of the enrollment and it cannot be removed. And just to give you an idea of this update, I will again take you back to the tenant. So if we go to the task irrevocable beneficiaries, so it's just basically a report that gives an idea, like it will bring us all the beneficiary with the workers as well. And let's just go to one of the beneficiary. Yeah. So if you can see that a new label has been added, which can be checked in case if the beneficiary is irrevocable, and this can only be done for those beneficiaries who are having the relationship as spouse. So if you see into this report, all the beneficiaries who are having these relationship as spouse, they can only be have this feasibility to be irrevocable, and for that feature to be leveraged, the relationship should be uh, spouse for the beneficiary. And so the next item that we have is, yeah, like I was mentioning in our previous slide, that this this setup has been removed from the SCM edit and instead from the SCM task. That earlier we used to have a checkbox available that is used Workday 32 enrollment workflow checkbox, but now it has been retired by Workday and we no longer have this checkbox available under the edit and setup. So if we go ahead and see edit tenant setup for SCM. Yeah. And under this task, if we just scroll down a bit and we just to take you to the benefits section here, yeah. So earlier we used to have a checkbox here, which could be checked just to get the updates which were as part of the Workday 32. But as part of this new update, now Workday retires the Workday 32 benefits enrollment workflow, and we also remove the checkbox from the Workday tenant, and the Workday now always displays a new benefits enrollment design, and if somehow if you had previously uploaded into the Workday 32 enrollment workflow. So the next feature that has been as part of this update is that Workday now improves the benefits enrollment experience by enabling you to control when Workday displays messages for cross-plan insurance coverage and retirement savings maximums during a enrollment event. So now Workday adds a new limit for the messages that would be displayed into the enrollment checkbox. So we have like what tasks will be impacted as part of this update. So we have these below tasks which will be impacted as part of this update. So just to give an idea about the, sorry for that. I think it somehow landed me to the end of the presentation. Yeah, apologies for that. So like I was saying, that as part of this update that Workday now have this new checkbox available onto those various task, that is limit display of messages into the enrollment. So once we are checking this checkbox, what we would be doing is we would be limiting the display of messages which would be there onto the enrollment event. And what tasks are impacted by this update? It has been clearly mentioned here, like these are the tasks which will be impacted as part of this update. So yeah, so even this feature would be automatically available into the tenants, and since it is also an opt-in feature, so it will not be having an impact if nothing is done for this. So now the last feature that we had was miscellaneous enhancements, which has been brought by Workday as part of this update. So to improve the accuracy in benefits reporting, Workday now has added various new fields as part of the reporting. So we can now see that uh, the Workday has added below fields as part of the new update. So primary address country name with primary home address country, primary address postal code with primary home address postal code. So these are the fields which has been now been brought up by Workday to improve the accuracy onto the benefits reporting. So earlier there used to be quite a ruckus to when reporting was done on benefits. So there were like certain fields which were not available and were a part of the requirement from the clients. But since these new fields has been added, so they can be used to add onto the reports while doing the reporting for benefits. So the next update as part of the miscellaneous updates is that Workday now delivers below new report fields onto the enrollment event business object. So we now have this two new fields, that is calculated remaining pay periods for spending account and calculated remaining pay periods for health savings accounts. So these are the new fields which has been added to do reporting onto the enrollment event business object. And also as part of this update, Workday also secures the new report fields to below domains. So various new domains has been added by Workday. So as this is majorly on targeting onto the security configuration. So we have new domains here which can be configured into the tenant so as to see their impact onto the reporting and get an access more to get a more access of workers data here. So next feature as part of this miscellaneous update is that Workday adds these new domains to the benefits function area to increase configuration options for critical worker data. So even as part of the previous uh, domains, these are various new domains that has also been added as part of the new miscellaneous update. So yeah, so I think as part of this release, that is 2021 R2, Workday has like come up, have majorly adding new fields and new domains onto the update. So there hasn't been much changes made onto the configuration side when we speak about, let's say, about plans, enrollment event rules or benefit groups, but there has been major updates onto the addition of new fields and some new domains. So, I mean, as such, there hasn't been a significant update which would be impacting majority of the configuration that is being done by the client initially. But yeah, there has been some updates onto the fields and security configuration, and which gives the worker to give which gives the user to more feasibility to access more data and do better reporting with more accuracy. And so as part of this feature, so since like I mentioned, these are domains which has been brought up by Workday, so few of them are automatically available into the tenant, but most of them would require a tenant setup majorly focused to security, like adding the new domains onto the functional areas and doing the correct security setup to see their impact rightly. And but like I mentioned, if since this is also an opt-in feature, so most of the features that are as part of this release have been opt-in features. So because it totally depends on the user requirement, like if they want to have this kind of update, they can directly go and implement. But if the requirement is not there, and if they don't want to implement it, so you ideally there won't be an impact in case if it is not implemented. So yeah, I think this was a short session for benefits because there hasn't been major updates onto the benefits, and I have added a community link here which you can access to get an idea about the roadmap, which would be giving an idea like what next would be coming as part of the updates and what Workday is planning to come up with new releases. I think it was a quick session for benefits. So, and like before we end the session, I would be happy to answer in case if you have any questions.
Thank you, Arvind. We actually don't have any questions, but thank you for a great presentation and a good overview. We will actually go on a little break now because we have a bit of time left until the next presentation. So thank you, Arvind.
Yeah, thanks, Catherine. So like before I leave, like I would request everyone to go ahead and scan this QR code and share your valuable feedback with us. And in case if you do have any questions, you can definitely bring it onto us like post the session and we would be happy to answer them. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. And as Arvind mentioned, we really appreciate your feedback. So please help us improve our event to come back next time with even better event for you. But now we have a bit of time left until we have Workday integrations presentation from Ehtesham Khan, and it will start at 15:05. So have a little stretch and maybe a cup of coffee if you want, and we'll be back in a few minutes. So hi, welcome back. Hope you had a cup of coffee or a nice stretch, and now it's time for the last but not least important presentation. We have Ehtesham who will talk to you about Workday integration's most recent updates. Welcome, Ehtesham. Hi, we can see you, but we can't hear you. Now we can. We heard you for a moment.
I think the screen is getting freeze.
Yes, now we hear you clearly.
Okay, perfect. So hello everyone. Today I will be just presenting my presentation on integration update, which will be getting rolled out part of Workday2021R2. And I will be taking you to some agenda which has been covered in this presentation. So let's get started.
We can see the presentation.
Yeah. So this is the webinar practice, and in this we will be covering the Q&A. The session has been recorded, and we have shared you the PPT which has been created part of this presentation so that you can have a my presentation, you can cover that, and we have an HR Insight community in this. So Katie, my screen is getting freeze. Are you able to see that?
We can still see the webinar practicalities.
Yeah, it is getting hanged.
Okay, maybe try to. All right, we can see it now. Yeah.
Yeah, so my name is Ehtesham. I'm having 6+ years of experience in Workday technical side. I'm certified in Workday SCM integration and EMPM. And this is a safe harbor statement for my presentation, as presented in previous presentation also. So today's part of my agenda, I will be covering these topics: absence third-party calendar integration, consolidated business process event steps, enterprise interface builder user interface, report and task filters, markup for higher data sent to third-party payroll, Cloud Connect for third-party payroll, and payslip printing forecasting. So let's get started with the absent third-party payroll integration. Here you can see the community link where you can get a video and have a PDF, and also the content which has been part of this absent third-party calendar integration on the community. So in this particular upgrade, the absence third-party payroll integration, what they have done, like for example, if you have inserted a time or time off into your calendar, that particular calendar will be getting synced to your Outlook or a Google Calendar, so that every Workday calendar and the Outlook and Google Calendar will be in the sync with the Workday system. So for this particular sync, you have to maintain some make some changes in the Workday end. So and also at the calendar end. So part of this, like I will be showing you a demo on this. I will just cover this. So Workday enables you to configure the integration with Google Calendar and Microsoft Outlook to automatically send time off events for approved time off and entered into Workday to user accounts in corporate calendar applications. This enables you to easily provide workers with scheduling data outside of Workday. Worker can view their own approved time off events, and managers can view their direct reports time off in their external calendars, improving scheduling visibility amongst the team. Worker can also opt out of this receiving calendar events. If person don't want to get their calendar synced with the Workday, then he can opt out of from this, and the calendar will never get updated in the Outlook and the Google end. So these are the configuration which you need to do in the Workday. So the first task you need to use is the configure absence third-party calendar integration. And after that, existing will be the configure integration attributes, integration services, integration system, and then launch and schedule integration. These are the security domain which needs to be updated, and the below are the web services. So first I will show you the demo for the configure absence third-party calendar integration. So this is the task configure absence third-party calendar. So here, if you want to see the screen bigger side, then you can use this particular icon and move this side, and it will just show you the bigger picture of this configuration page. And if you want to come back to the original, then you can do this. After that, in the introduction, you can see the configure absence third-party calendar integration for your organization. You need to submit this task for changes to apply in the next integration run. You can return to this task later to view or update your configuration settings to set up the integration system. After that, it will ask for the timeouts which you need to select here. For example, if I want only for candidate sick time off, so you can remove all this. You just leave the candidate sick time off and just maintain like that. And after that, the calendar display. So here you need not to make any changes. The Workday will take care of this particular thing. Enable employees to see their own time of events, and they enable managers to see their direct reports time of events. So this is the Workday by default settings. And after the organization, for which organization you want to set up here, if you can see, it has been set to the top of the global modern services. So it is the topmost organization in the Workday. And if you want to just navigate to, for example, to the lower down of the supervisory organization, you can go there and that particular configuration will take place from there itself, not from the top of the organization. And after that, in the calendar event, you will be mentioning the text, the subject. It's a kind of a text which will be getting imported to the third-party calendars. If you want these needs to be changes, I don't want the Workday default provided text, then what you can do, you can just click on this. And after that, you have there your own page and you can create your own content and just paste it here and it will work out for you. And right now I will just take a default one. And after that, you will be getting to the last page where you can review all your changes, like whatever you have done. And if it is look good, then you can just give an OK. And it will get saved. After this particular configuring the third-party absence calendar, you need to create one more integration. That will be create integration system. There you need to select one more absence calendar template, because to connect the Outlook and the Google Calendar here, we need to create this particular integration. So right now I will just select all services and I will just give an OK. So if you see there, it is giving an error. There are integration attributes that are marked as required for launch. So what you need to do, you need to go here, integration system, configure integration attributes. So you can see the third-party calendar integration. So if you want to configure the Microsoft calendar integration, then you have to provide the credentials, tenant ID and the email domains. For this, you need to reach out to your IT people, local IT team, and they will be providing you all these email domains and the credential, and the tenant ID you can get from the Workday. And after that, there is a Google Calendar. Same thing for goes here also. You can just need the credentials and the email domains, so that while launching this integration, whenever you need to sync the Outlook and the Google Calendar. So this was the part of this two things we need to configure. Now we'll get back to our presentation. So here I have shown you how to configure the absence third-party calendar integration. So this was the screenshot which I have taken from the Workday. Same thing goes here. The organization you can select according to your requirement, and the text you can overwrite if you don't want to use the default settings. And after that you can just review and OK. So additional consideration part of this absence third-party calendar. For Microsoft Outlook, you need to administrator access to an Azure Active Directory tenant. So this is the access you need. For Google Calendar, you need a Google account with G Suite Basic, G Suite Enterprise, or G Suite Business. So these are the prerequisites before creating this integration. And deployment consideration, absence consultant will be responsible for the setup of configure absence third-party calendar integration task, and while the customer internal team is responsible for configuring the integration attributes, consultant may be asked to provide assistance. The organization selected in the configure third-party calendar integration task supersedes the prompt for organization when you launch the integration. For example, when you're launching the absence calendar integrations system, then if you have provided in the configure third-party calendar integration the top supervisory organization, but while launching you have provided some third management level or fourth management level supervisory organization. In that case, what it will do, the absence third-party calendar, it will just override it with the organization which we have provided in the absence calendar. So while launching, it will just provide that. The minimum frequency a customer can run the integration is every 2 hours, and we recommend setting at 2 hours to avoid a backlog of retires building up and calendars becoming out of date. So Workday recommends to schedule it after 2 hours. We recommend customers to set the priority of third-party calendar integrations appropriately so that payroll and other important integration are given priority. Note only time of absence table are eligible for selection. Leave types and holiday events are not currently available, part of this Workday upgrade. So coming to the summary, what is changing? Workday enables you to configure integration with Google Calendar and Microsoft Outlook to automatically send time off events for approved time off entered in Workday to user accounts in corporate calendar application. This enables you to easily provide worker with scheduling data outside of Workday. Sometimes like question will get arise. I have just entered the time off in the Workday, but it is not coming in the Outlook or it is not coming in the Google Calendar. So at that time you can see that it has been only for approved time off. If the time off has not been approved, it cannot be sent to third-party calendar, Outlook and Google Calendar. So what do I need to do? Access the configure absence third-party calendar integration task to configure the integration for your organization. Register your client for Google Calendar, Microsoft Outlook, or both, and configure permission for the absence third-party calendar integration web API. Access the create external client create store task to store or to access credential for Google Calendar and Microsoft Outlook. Create an integration system using the absence third-party calendar template and configure integration services and integration attributes. What happens if I do nothing? Workday won't send calendar events for time off to the third-party calendars for employees and managers in your organization. So if you don't make any configuration changes, then Workday will not send, and your Outlook and the Google Calendar will never get updated. So this completes the first agenda of this particular absence third party. Now coming to the second. So this is the consolidated business process event steps. Here you can see the community link where you can go and see the videos and the content of this particular. This has been common to the Workday SCM, Workday integration, and many more functional areas, because whenever BP gets changes, it's a part of the functional area and as well as the integration area. So I will show you what with this release we consolidate consecutive business process event step with not required status within a business process event. This reduces the number of unnecessary business process event steps generated in your tenant and streamlines what you see in the event process history. So this means, like, for example, in the business process, if you have configured multiple integration and those are getting they are not getting called and they're getting skipped. So in that scenario, what Workday will do, it will just consolidate all those events and put it into a single steps and show you. So it will be easy for you to understand like which steps for the integration has been skipped and which are not. So I will just give you a demo after this particular configuration thing. So now coming to the configuration, you need not to do any changes. The feature will be automatically available. So you need not to make any changes or configuration changes part of this BP. It will be automatically available in the Workday. The task is business object translation. Security domains are existing data translation. So before the rollout of this functionality, the BP flow will look like this. Here you can see the not required, not required, not required, and it is not consolidated here. But when you go to the after the functionality rollout, you can see the expense report event. You can see the 2 and the figure of 4. When you click on that, now I will show you the demo on this. So I have created a position in which my customer, for example, needs to trigger various integration to the third-party system for updating them. So in that scenario, if you see my business process flow, let me open the business process flow. Here it's got completed. So if you see this event, there is no integration has been like skipped or anything. Everything has been completed successfully. So no figures has been popped up here. Now I will show you the second. So in this, I have configured around 3 integrations, which has been skipped and it has not been required while processing the position creation. So if you come here, you can see the 3 parts of 3 that I have configured integration. It has been not called and it has been skipped. So you can see the integration. I will show you the BP for that, how the BP look at. So if you can see, I have configured 3 integrations and this has not been called off. So because of that, it has been skipped, and these 3 integrations, they are like that. These were not required. So these have came into the error. And if you see the details, these are here. Coming back to the summary. So what is changing with this release? We consolidate consecutive business process event step with not required statuses within a business process event. This reduces the number of unnecessary business process event steps generated in your tenant and streamline what you see in the event process history. What do I need to do? You don't need to do anything to start using the consolidated business event step functionality. We recommend that you update your training material so that users are aware of the changes in the user interface. So what happens if I do nothing? The features will be automatically available to you, and if you do nothing, then it will be whenever the steps is going as not required, and then what Workday will do? Workday will just consolidate all the not required step into and just pop out the figure. The number of the not required step has been the part of the BP, and you can see into your process history and just check what are the steps which has been passed as not required. So this completed the consolidated business process event topic. Now we'll move on to the enterprise interface builder user interface. Here you can also see the community link. You can visit this particular link to have a demo and a video and the content for this enterprise interface builder user interface. So feature overview. With this release, we improve usability when you create EIB. So part of this, the user interface is getting changes, part of the WD2021R2. The EIB interface will be getting changing. And integration by redesigning the user interface to add clarity. So you will be having a more clarity, providing you with the greater visibility and streamlining your user experience. So your total UI will be getting changed for EIB. I will just show you the demo for that, like how the previous EIB looks like UI was and how the current UI is. And now we have an additional feature, what we can do, like whenever we load. So this is a very good feature which has been introduced, which is good for the security purpose also. So deleting the integration attachment. For example, if we are loading any inbound EIB and we want to delete that the data which has been loaded to Workday. So what we can do, we can just go and delete the attachment which contains the data. For example, if it is a one-time payment, if it is compensation, or if it is loaded with an SSN number or anything, you can delete it so that it cannot be like loaded from the event. And the third feature, view the header key of the data lines with the EIB errors. So this feature has not been pushed to preview now, but but they are in the testing phase. So soon they will be, maybe they will get delivered with this particular 2021 R2, but till now it is not available in the preview. So what configuration is needed? You need not to do any changes. The feature will be automatically available. So UI will be getting changing automatically, and everything. The header key and the delete integration attachment functionality will be also getting updated automatically. You need not to do any configuration. And the task which will be getting used, the create EIB and edit EIB. And here you can see the old EIB UI. So here the general settings, get data, transform, deliver, and summary. So it is the old EIB. Now I will show you the new EIB interface. So you can see both the UI are quite different from the each other. If you see the new in the preview, and if you go to the general settings, the old screenshot which I have just pasted in my presentation, so both look quite different. Here you can see again the same button. If you want to get a more view of your page, you can just shrink this and you can just have a view, the page view much larger than the previous. And if you want to back to the previous settings, you can just click it and you will be getting. So again, the same thing you need to do here. Get data, the configuration, and if you want, you can provide the web services. For example, I provide request bonus. So you can see the bonus web service I'm using, and in the transformation section, I will provide nothing. If you want in the delivery section, I will just make as web service operation and I will review and submit. So in the review and submit, you can see what the error I'm getting. Okay. So let me refresh this page. It got created, the page got refreshed. So you have seen this UI. UI has totally got changed from the other one. Now I will move to the other part which has been changed. Now I have loaded it. I have loaded a request bonus payment for a single employee just for a testing purpose. So I will show you how you can delete the integration attachment. If you see, we have the integration attachment here as the request bonus payment.xml. I'll come here. So always remember, you cannot have any task to delete the attachment. What you need to do, you need to always go to your integration event, and there you can see the integration event and delete integration attachment task. So you cannot go from anywhere and search this task to delete. Always you have to go to the specific integration event from which you want to delete the attachment, and then you can go to the integration event section and delete integration attachment. So before deleting the attachment, it will just ask for your confirmation. Without it, it will not go ahead. So just confirmation after, you will just OK, done. And once you get back to the integration event, you can see the attachment part has been totally disappeared from here. So now nobody can download the attachment which you have loaded. So this is a safety feature which, like for example, if you have loaded compensation SSN number as I mentioned before, so you can delete it and the data will get loaded successfully. Now the third changes which Workday has introduced, which has not been pushed to preview. So I will just show you the screenshot from my presentation how that particular feature will pop up. So Workday has introduced a new feature which you can see here, the header key. So the header key will just point out to the data row which has been the kicked out by the EIB because of some error. So here you can see the header key. So right now, if you go to the error part, for example, I'm going here. If you see, we don't have the header key here. So, but in the new part of WD2021R2, you will be getting the header key section where you can see the header key 1, 2, 3. So whatever the row has been kicked out as a part of the validation error, or it has been like the no required field has been provided. So Workday will just kick out those rows and that will be coming in the header key. So from here you can capture it, or you can go to the message tab. You can go to the message tab and you can see the header key here. Also one more section will be getting added here. So right now you are not able to see, but going forward you will be able to see a header keys column here and you will be getting the error there. So these are the three things which has been introduced a part of EIB as part of this upgrade. So coming to the summary, what is changing with this release? We improve usability when you create EIB integration by redesigning the user interface to add clarity, providing you with a greater visibility and this streamlining your experience. What do I need to do? This feature automatically available. We recommend you to update your training material so that users are aware of the change to enterprise interface builder. You can access this feature through your EIB integrations in Workday. So now the report and task filter. So this is the very good feature which has been introduced by Workday. Before that, we have to do lots of rework to assign the prompt while running the reports. The same goes with here also. You have the community link where you can get the Workday video and the Workday content for the report and task filter. So I will just go with the future overview. With Workday 2021R2, we make it easier for you to keep track of where you are in Workday. Instead of displaying report and task filter prompts on a separate page, we display a pop-up where you can quickly specify a filter and easily return to and complete your task. So it is like whenever you want to rerun the report, you need not to go and back and again run and again provide the prompt. So Workday provide you a one key called a change key. The change key will help you out to provide the prompt instantly without going or in edit mode or without going to like you go just reload the page again, come to the report, run again. So what they have done, they have just provided you a key called change key, and from there you can just provide the prompt and directly execute the report. So this configuration is automatically available. We recommend you to update your training material so that users are aware of the changes. So now I will provide you the demo on this. For example, I will just open a report, call it a give feedback. So here I can see in task and reports, here's the give feedback report. So here you can see worker. For example, I will give any employee. I provided John Chen and I will just OK. So I've got all the details, feedback and everything. Before, what we need to do, we need to go to the related action of give feedback, or we need to go back and then again we have to click it, and again we need to provide John Chen to execute if we miss something in our report if you want to add. Now what you need to do, you need to just, you can see the change button here. So you just need to change selection. So after change selection, what you need to do, you need not to just go back and again, just select from here any employee. For example, again, I will type John, and this time I will take Elizabeth Johnson and I will remove John and I will just OK. So now you can see with Elizabeth Johnson. So this makes your job quite easy, like going back and then so you can use the change button and you can provide your runtime prompt. So this is not applicable to give feedback report. I will just show you with for example, with other report also. I will go to the For example, a headcount report. I will open a headcount report in the organization. I will put global modern services. I'll just OK. So yeah, you can see in the headcount report target menu, everything is popping up. So again, you can see the change button is popping up there. Again, you can click here, select your organization again. And now at this time, we will take global modern Sweden and OK. So this time it has been ran for global modern service AB Sweden. So this is the new feature which has been introduced to the to the UI of report, where you can get a change button to make the runtime prompt easier for you to locate at the pop-up page. So this will cover up the demo session. Now I'll go to the So we don't have any for this in the summary section, like if you don't make any if you don't do any changes, or if you not make any changes here, what will do, Workday is automatically providing these changes. So going forward, you will be getting this pop-up change button in your every report, and from there, if the report has a runtime prompt, then definitely the change button will be getting popped up there, and you can run it without going to just go back and then again running. You can just use the change button and run the report. So now I'll come to the another topic of this upgrade. So marker for higher data sent to third party payroll. Here also we have a community link where they have provided a video. In that they have provided how we send the mark for higher third party data, like higher data sent to third party payroll. You can review that. You can review the community link and get the Workday content and proceed. So I will just provide you a feature overview here. With this release, you can configure the payroll effective change interface template and the hire business process. So Workday sends all relevant information to the third party payroll after the new hire completes all of the required onboarding fields. This helps prevent error caused by missing information and reduces manual effort. For example, this particular feature, what it will help you out, like for example, if the Workday has not been hired, or the Workday task, the Workday hire BP has not been completed, and the data goes to third party payroll, and we get the discrepancy in the data at the third party system and at the Workday system. So to stop the flow of the new hire to the third party, where they have provided under the hire BP, the third party checkbox is there. The payroll effective change checkbox is there, which will just send the employees who completed the hire process, and then it will move to the PG, and PG will move it to the third party system. So this is the flow. First, you need to do the configuration under the hire BP, then at the PG level, then at the third party level. So configuration business process existing the hire BP we need to change. The task which we'll be using in the PG is configure integration attributes for the integration system, and edit the business process definition. Security domains consist of the existing domains which are part of the PG or hire. So business process administration, integration build, integration configure, manage business process definition, set up payroll interface, domain. Reports like worker not processed by PG event. So this is the new report which has been introduced, part of this the marked hire not sent to PG, not sent to payroll. So with this particular report, if you are expecting any employee in your PG output, but that particular employee is not the part of that output, so what you can do, you can just go and run this worker not processed by PG event report, and there you can see the employee. If the employee is there, that means like the hire process has not been completed successfully, due to which the employee is stuck in the hire process and had not been moved to the PG. So this is the report which you can use for the workers. And the other features like enable high data checkpoint integration attributes. So this is the high data checkpoint which needs to be checked in the PG level, and high data checkpoint for third party system business process step. So you need to just check point for in the higher BP also, so that every point it has been checked and moved to the third party. So now I will come to the demo steps. So first I will go and show you a higher BP of any organization. So for example, I'm showing a higher default definition. So if you see the business process flow, here you cannot see any third-party check box for the higher employees. So this is the BP before the change of the third-party check. Now what I will do, I will just edit this definition. Okay. Yeah. So now I will just add one more step, call as M. Now I will, in the type, you have to select the services. And in the specify, you have to select the high data checkpoint for third party payroll. And once you have to OK it. So this is the change which has been done in the higher level BP. Then only these particular employees will be getting checked at the PG level also. If you don't put this check at the higher level BP, then this particular configuration won't work out for the new hires. And after this, after putting the high data checkpoint for the third party system, now you need to move to the PG. For example, I will open my existing PG which I have created for this particular demo. So in the attribute level, you need to, under the PG, you need to go to the configure integration attributes. You need to scroll down, come down. Yeah, here it is. So you need to enable the high data checkpoint so that whenever you need to check this point and provide the environment like production sandbox, anything, and then proceed further. So first the configuration needs to done at the BP level. So as I have shown you at the BP level, you have to put the high data checkpoint for the third party system. After that configuration, you need to go to the attributes of the PG which you want to capture the new hires. So you need to enable the high data checkpoint there. You need to check this box. Once it's get checked, you have to OK. And when you run the PG, the new hires will be getting captured who has completed this particular flow. If the employee has been stuck, for example, with the HR partner approval or a manager approval, then it will not be getting like the part of the PG output. So if the employee is not in the PG output, you need to track why this employee is not in the output. So for that, what you need to do, you need to run the report worker not PG. So if you see the worker not processed by PG events, here it's the new report which has been introduced part of this configuration. So what you need to do, you need to put check for the higher data checkpoint, the pay group, for example, whichever you, for example, I will put Sweden. So you can see the Sweden. If you want, you can provide the completed or completed date. I will just OK. I will just give 25, for example, today it has been processed. So I can see no employees has been part of this particular pay group which has been hired under this. So every employee is part of PG output and it has been flown to the third party system. So these are the three changes which has been part of this third party checkpoints. And I will go to the presentation. Yeah, so I've completed this demo and I have covered this report worker not processed by PG events. So what is changing with this release? You can configure the payroll effective change interface template and the hire business process. So Workday sends all relevant information to third party payroll after the new hire completes. all of the required onboarding fields. This helps prevent error caused by the missing information and reduce manual efforts. So part of this, like if any information is missing, some information or something, we send to third-party payroll, so it need a manual effort to enter all those mandatory fields. So once we put this particular checkpoint at the higher level, so only once the higher is getting completed, then only the worker details need to get captured in the PG. So this is a very good feature which has been introduced part of this upgrade. What do I need to do? Enable the high data checkpoint attribute on the payroll effective change interface integration, then add the high data checkpoint for the third party system step on the higher business process. What happens if I do nothing? You will see no changes in the Workday if you don't enable this feature. When you hire or rehire a worker, Workday continues to send the data to the third-party payroll system. Once you assign the external pay group, instead of waiting to send the data until the new hire completes all of the required onboarding fields. So if you don't make this changes in your Workday, then Workday will just capture the employees, whatever it was doing before. So nothing will get impacted in your existing integration. So it will work similar way whatever it was working. Once you make this particular changes, then only it will start capturing the employees after the check the third party. The checkpoint for the third party system step is in higher and in the pitchy level. So these are the things, a part of summary for the third party checkpoint. Now for the Cloud Connect for third party payroll. So in this third party payroll, the feature overview covers the Workday continues to improve the Cloud Connect for third-party payroll functionality for payroll interface, payroll effective change interface, and Workday effective change interface. So part of this change, this will have a changes in the peak off. This will have the impact in the peak off, PG and the VG. So three things will be getting updated part of this. So this thing also has not been pushed to preview, but soon they will be pushing it to preview and it will be part of the Workday 2021R2. And so what they are going to include. So in this position field attributes, if you see there is an international assignment type which has been introduced, a part of this upgrade. So whenever you get into the file, you can see the international assignment type long term. So what they have done, they have provided a domestic type here. International assignment type, there will be coming a domestic type also. So part of this changes, I will show you in the demo how it will show. I will open a PG, for example. These, as I mentioned in the in the PPT, like this has been enabled for payroll interface, payroll effective change interface, and the worker effective change interface. So these three templates will having this particular feature. So what you need to do, you need to go to the attributes of the PG, and you need to go to the configure integration field attributes. Under the field attributes, you need to go to the position services. Open the effective stack worker. Here you will be seeing the multiple services. Now you need to go to the position. Yeah, here it's the position data section. Under the position, you can see the international assignment type for the position. So you need to check that box. OK. And in the output, as I showed in the demo, you will be getting the assignment type as a domestic or something which has been done for the employee while sending him to on the IA on the international assignment. So this was a small topic covered part of this. Yeah, so under summary, to enhance the visibility of the employees on assignments, we now include a domestic. As I mentioned, like it will be including a domestic for the international assignment type. So under that particular international assignment type, we will be getting domestic in the output for the integration based on these templates. So it is getting enabled for the payroll effective change interface, worker effective change interface, and peak off. So configure the international assignment type under the position section of PG and VG. And what happens if I do nothing? The integration output, you will not get the international assignment type. So if you don't check this box under the position tab, you will not be getting the international assignment type, which yeah, if you don't check this box, then we will not be getting anything in your output. So it will just work as usual, whatever it was working before. So now coming to the last topic of this.
Sorry,
Is,
Ehtesham.
yeah.
We have gotten a question, and maybe before you continue with
Sure.
with other topics, it's actually about a previous topic you went through, and you mentioned integrations with Google Calendar and
Yes.
Outlook. So
Mhm.
the question is, can we control which time offs are sent to Outlook, and can we make some of them private so they aren't visible to others?
You cannot make them private, but you can select according to for which time off you want to send and for which time off you don't want to send. I will just show you the demo for that. So if you create configure absence calendar. So here, when you create it, so under the time offs, you can do the selection. For example, if you want to just send for a specific time off, you can just select Canadian and you can just select whatever you want. And for these time, for example, I want to select these two or for these three, then only for these three time offs that particular integration will trigger and sync my Outlook and Google Calendar. But we cannot make it private because we have to provide the security to the absence administrator and the managers and the employees, so that they can select the time offs and whenever the integration will run. So as per like the current scenario, we cannot make it as private, and the administrator, managers, and employee will have the the view of these particular time offs.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Katrin. So now coming to the last topic of this presentation is payslip printing forecasting. So we have the community link for this. You can go and review this link, and there you will be finding the same video and the content which will help you out for the doing the BIRT configuration for the payslip. So these payslip forecasting is a part of like BIRT. So for example, the company which are using the business intelligence reporting tool for their payslip printing, or which are not using the Workday provided features for the payslip, so they can use this particular feature to preview. Like it's a kind of pre-print functionality or a preview functionality which has been introduced to the BIRT. So now I will go to the feature overview. So Workday 2021 Release 2 refines the report designer payslip pre-print functionality. We now predict payslip printing trends for employees, helping reduce resource consumption. This also improves performance and the user experience when pre-printing PDF payslips. So it is like saving the paper. For example, if you don't want to print your payslips and you want to just have a preview, so you can just have a pre-printing and view of the payslips, and you can see at the screen level. So the task which has used for this is schedule BIRT payslip preprint. And this configuration is not in preview, like in the GMS tenant, we don't have a payslip for the employees. So this and we don't have the BIRT layout using for the employees to process the payslips. So I will just show you the demo on my presentation itself. So here I have showed you the two comparison payslips. If you see the payslips here, you can see under the view section, you can see view, and the payslip has been loaded to your profile. Both, like you can see the Julie and the Drake, both have the payslips under their pay tab, and they are visible and you can directly load it. And on the mobile app, if you can go to the view pay details for both Julie and for the Drake, and there also you can just load the payslip directly. This is the changes which I'm showing is before the new configuration. So for example, I have completed a payroll for the employees before the changes. So these were the changes before. Now I will run again rerun the payroll, and now what I will do, I will just schedule a BIRT payslip preprint after the completion of the payroll run. Now what it will do, it will just configure the new functionality under the employee level. So now you can see under the Julie, you cannot see the preprint functionality. You can see the print and you can see the view functionality. Here you can see directly print and you just download the PDF. But here you can see if you don't want to download your PDF, you can just have a view and leave it. But if you want to print your PDF, then you can click here and just download your PDF. So it will just take a little moment to download the PDF. So you can see directly for the Julie, you can just click on the download PDF and you will get the payslip. But for example, in the preview payslip, you can see your request is being processed. So it will take a little time and process your payslip. And the same will goes with the mobile application also. There also you can see at the end I have highlighted open PDF. So here the PDF is directly available, and here again you have to get PDF. Again it will take a moment to download the payslip and process. So this was the demo for the payslips. Now part of this, what is changing and what do I need to do? So Workday 2021 release 2 refines report designer payslip preprint functionality. So it is just enabled for the BIRT, as I mentioned before, report designer payslip, not for the Workday payslip which we use where we use a Workday template to load the payslip. We now predict payslip printing trends for employees, helping reducing resource consumption. This also improves the performance. So when you use this particular BIRT preprint functionality, this will improve the performance and the user experience when pre-printing the PDF payslips. The feature is automatically available when setting up your schedule BIRT payslip preprint task. So you need to schedule the BIRT and the configuration you need to do. Then only this BIRT payslip preprint functionality will be getting enabled. You will see the new employees to process field on the schedule BIRT payslip preprint task. You can use this new field to schedule PDF payslip preprinting for subset of workers that Workday considers like to view their PDF payslip using self-service for all workers in your selection criteria. So other features which will be getting rolled out as part of WD2021R2. So it's a global payroll reconciliation. We improve the processing efficiency for integration based on the global payroll reconciliation template, providing you with the reconciliation results more quickly. So it is just for an performance based thing. So it will just optimize and you can process the reconciliation result more quickly than it was doing in the previous version. And in the payroll integration, the REST web service has been depreciated, and in the part of that we recommend that you use the new payroll version 2 REST web service instead of using the version 1. For non-Workday Extend users, we rename the payroll public version 1 web service name to payroll version 2. So it is for the extend users. They can get the payroll v2 version there. We include these enhancements on the payroll v2 REST web service. The pay group details API response now includes the pay group. The payroll input API response now includes field editability status, indicating the payroll input fields that are editable. The field editability field replaces the last period completed and use in completed results fields in payroll version. So these are the little difference between the version 2 REST web service and the version 1. And after that, the UK worker contract end dates. So Workday enhance your ability to identify workers transferred between companies. This help you to meet the Majesty revenue and customs requirement to send a contract end date via FPS and also issue a P45 where required. And for the event-driven integration, Workday enhances event-driven integration to make it easier for you to identify which workers are the integration included and which they skipped. So these are the enhancement of the event-driven integration. So with this, I will conclude my presentation and I will take you to the roadmap. So for the roadmap, you have a different link for the Workday UK payroll product roadmap, time tracking roadmap, Cloud Connect for third-party payroll roadmap. So you can go and visit these links and to get more future updates regarding the Workday products like on UK payroll, US payroll integrations and other functional areas which has been part of the Workday ERP. And hope you like my presentation. You can provide your feedback to us and we will try to improve more on that. And I'm free now. You feel free to ask question and I'm happy to answer that.
Thank you, Ehtesham. We
Yeah.
don't have any other questions, but if any of the listeners think about it after the event and come up with anything else, then you're welcome to contact Ehtesham directly. And that was actually our last presentation of the day. So before you go, I have a few things to revise. So as Ehtesham already mentioned, we appreciate your feedback. So you can reach the feedback form either via the QR code that you're seeing right now, or the link in the Q&A. Secondly, the presentation material has already been shared with you, but besides that, we will also share the recording and answers to any questions that have been unanswered as well. So look forward to a separate email about those. As also mentioned, you can contact any of the presenters if you have any further questions. And as a very final thought, if you have any extra interest or you would like to read more about our services, you can go to our webpage, TietoEVRY.com/workday. Or if you would like to reach out to some of our contacts separately, then these are also listed in this slide next to me. And I thank all the presenters of the day and all the listeners. I wish you a good rest of the day. Rest well, and see you again tomorrow on our second day of the Get Ready for Workday Release 2 event. So thank you and see you tomorrow.